So picking up where the previous chapter left off, we're seeing Drive Knight and Genos teaming up and both doing like their chest lasers to Psychorochi's jet, and it's like really damaging her. But Psychorochi's able to like counterattack and like opens up like an Orochi mouth from her back and like fires a beam in retaliation, and then also tries to shoot a beam at Tatsumaki, who we saw was at the top of the big tower still. But then out of nowhere, there's like a rock that intercepts it, and we see Tank Top Master, our boy, on the ground supplying coverage for Tatsumaki. But then it's revealed that Tank Top Master's with Fubuki, and he says, "These things are so easy to throw, that ability is making my tank top more comfortable." The ability that he's referring to is the same one that we saw Fubuki use on Bang and Bomb when they were going against Rover a couple chapters back. Previously, she said, "I psychically fortified you, so you should be able to move a little faster." And then Bang and Bomb are like, "Yeah, you're right, my knee doesn't hurt, and I feel freer around my lower back." So she pretty much just psychically fortified Tank Top Master, which is making him more effective here. Then it cuts back to Genos and Drive Knight. They're falling from, you know, their little counter with Psychorochi they just had. And Drive Knight's like, "I request cooperation. I have very little energy remaining. I intend to combine through coalescing our energy cores to maximize our power output." And at this point, we see the core of Drive Knight. Pretty sure this is the first time we've ever seen this, and it oddly looks almost exactly the same as Genos' core. The same core that we saw when he was going against the giant meteor. And as I mentioned in my previous breakdown, it's suspicious that Drive Knight has like a similar, you know, chest laser blast thing that Genos has. But now that we're seeing that they have very similar looking cores, that just adds more to the suspicions of Drive Knight, in my opinion. And like I also said, even more suspicions on Dr. Kuseno now, the guy who made Genos. Again, I'm eventually going to make an entire video dedicated to who I think Drive Knight is, the connections between Dr. Kuseno and Genos and all of that stuff. I just want this sequence to wrap up first so that I could just get all of the evidence on the table and not have to wait for it to transpire before I make the video, and then there's like new information that comes out that I could have added in there, you know what I mean? But first, this video is sponsored by the Listen But Don't podcast. They also do a $100 giveaway to a lucky listener. Right now, I'm gonna play a clip from the show.
Christmas ain't nothing but a mindless holiday where people spend money and then they pretend that everyone needs to get together to eat some dinner that most likely is going to be thrown away the next day because no one likes Christmas leftovers. Yeah, I said it.
Mr. Grinch.
The only thing good about Christmas is sweet potato pie. Everything else can go for itself. I never had a good Christmas in my life, okay? If Santa Claus was real, why'd the mother give me socks? If Santa Claus is supposed to get us toys. Why did Santa Claus give me something that you could have got me in June?
Mr. Grinch.
Okay, right, give me that. Damn. That's right. Christmas, you need to get toys, but not so much socks and underwear.
So thank you again to the Listen But Don't podcast. Links for their channel will be in the description. Please check them out. Thanks again, guys. Then we see Drive Knight form one of his tactical transformations, but this time in junction with Genos, kind of using him as like an extra battery, you know, hence he said he's low on energy. And we're seeing a new transformation from Drive Knight, this time the promoted Rook. And if you watch my video on how powerful Drive Knight is, you'll know that this was inevitably going to come. Because Drive Knight's forms are all based on shogi pieces, like the Japanese version of chess, I guess. Like there's the Lance, the Knight, the Bishop, the Rook, and the Silver General, and all of those forms have promoted versions of them. And his Rook form is when he becomes like that jet thing. And I initially thought like that other version of the jet that we saw previously in this arc was maybe his promoted form, but it turns out that that's not. And this big like Yu-Gi-Oh! Buster Blader looking thing is actually the promoted Rook. So this also pretty much confirms, or I think it does, that we're gonna see promoted versions of the Silver form, the Bishop form, the Knight form, and the Lance form. Not only that, I think this also means that we still have yet to see the peak of Drive Knight's power, because the two most powerful pieces in shogi are the Gold General, which we've seen in his gold form, the one that he used against Neon. Then there's also the King General, which we haven't seen yet, so I'm thinking that, you know, that's probably going to be the peak of his power. But Psychorochi's able to transform as well, and she becomes like this xenomorph type thing, and they start clashing their swords. But then Tank Top Master like throws a straight up building at them. But then we see the building like start to cut apart, and inside of the building is Atomic Samurai, Puri Puri Prisoner, and Super Ally Darkshine. I mean, this sequence is so good. It is just so satisfying to see the S-Class heroes work together like this, but also just in an awesome way. But also from Atomic Samurai, we're seeing a new move here. And like I was talking about before, his focus atomic slash that we initially saw him use against Black S, that was retconned and redrawn, and he no longer had that move. And I was saying that I don't think it's gone forever. I think, you know, we're going to see it later on, maybe even later on in this arc, and we actually are seeing it here. Although it's not the focus atomic slash now, it's called the atomic beeline slash. And while it's not, you know, exactly what he was doing against Black S, it's more or less the same kind of fundamental of it, where he's focusing it all. Instead of just a scattered, you know, array of slashes, it's all focused into like one, like almost like a beam cut or something. But then on the follow-up, we're seeing a new move from Puri Puri Prisoner as well, or just an upgraded version of his Dark Angel Rush. Now he has the vibration ability built into it, an ability that we saw him pick up when he was going against Vacuuma and then later on against Neon. And then Darkshine finishes off the little combo here with a new move from him, which is called the Super Alloy Missile. He's just basically doing a kick. But yeah, we just haven't seen this from Darkshine before, either in the manga or even in the webcomic. So after this combo attack just, you know, completely wrecks Psychorochi, we see like bits of him and her coming off. And then we see like a mechanical hand come out of Drive Knight, and he picks up one of the little pieces. And this goes back to what I guess his initial motivation for showing up here in the first place was. He wanted to get a cell sample of Psychorochi, and this is it. Now he has it. So I really wouldn't be surprised if he pieces out in like the next chapter or the chapter after that. I don't think he's gonna be sticking around any longer. And also he has the excuse that I don't have any energy left, guys, so I guess I gotta go. And if you thought this was over, it's not, because now Bang and Bomb are coming into the picture, and they're doing the Cross-Fang Dragon Slayer fist to like the damaged body of Orochi that was falling. Oh man, this is just... But then it cuts to Tatsumaki in this awesome panel where she's like in front of the moon, and it's looking like she's gonna try to get the coup de grace on Orochi here. Then it cuts to what Saitama, Flashy Flash, and Manako are doing. And if you would like to know my thoughts on this entire sequence with the box, and also what happens at the very end of this chapter with the big guy, you know, in the fetal position, please check out my previous video that just released yesterday on this chapter. I go into all of that stuff in detail. But then Tatsumaki, I guess, pulls even more of the Monster Association to the ground that she didn't already pull out, and like forms it into like this massive spear, and then I guess reinforces it with like her psychic energy because it starts glowing green. And then she has it like hovering over what's left of Orochi, and she's like, see ya, and about to, you know, stab him with this thing. This is an amazing feat of power, but it's also expected of Tatsumaki because this is what she's all about, these big, grand, crazy feats of power, you know, like above dragon level strength, approaching even god level stuff. And then after this, we go into that final sequence with the fetal position dude, and I said I talked about that in my previous video. But yeah, this is like a really, really strong chapter. You can definitely tell this reinvigorated the community, who was maybe getting a little fatigued with what was going on so far in this arc. So like, is this the end of Orochi? Is he going to be killed by Tatsumaki here? What's going to happen next? Well, I'm pretty sure he's probably going to die in the next chapter, but there is a chance that he might have one last moment where he somehow survives this and then comes back and then fights again, maybe. I'm gonna make another video dedicated to this because I'm gonna be going over those leaked notes that I've already made 3 videos about. This will probably be the last time I make a video on that stuff because it seems like we're coming to the conclusion of what we've been talking about for a while now. You know, like this whole sequence that has seemingly been planned for like 3 years now almost. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments. If you liked the video, please give it a like. Also subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.